Alright, second test. Okay, and I uploaded the first one and I grabbed the YouTube video, so I'm gonna practice adding posts and how this operates pulling in YouTube videos. So go to the home page, and up here on the top left is the navigation. This oddly always opens up. It's a little bit of a bug, but you have all the different pages which show up on this link thing here, and on the left you have the nav bar. Over in the settings you can have, there's a name and icon, or you can just change the loading icon and the description of the app, which really is only used for like notification emails, but also change the appearance, create it like the theme blue and whatnot. Figure green would be appropriate. You can change kind of the accent. These are very basic, and also whether the navigation is top or left. I feel like with left there's a lot more value to it. It's not much of anything. This is pretty cool. It just changes the light or dark theme, and this is depending on the user, whatever they have on their phone or thing, computer. And you can do custom CSS as well. So over here, I'm going to go into the home section, then I'm going to go into the posts. I'm going to add a post, and created, and close that. And when you go into any window, the components on the left are going to change as appropriate. You can also go down here into the whatever icon that becomes like a selector, and I can pick it directly, turn that off. So a huge advantage to glide amongst many things. I've tried many different no-coders. I think I've tried them all, really, the big ones, and it's either way too complicated or way too simple. And this, even the really complicated ones don't have a data editor. They usually just force you to manage the database individually, so you can't really create dynamic columns and customizations, and you just can't iterate fast. Anyway, we have all of these widgets, which are either like, you have a little HTML editor, you have a image uploader, or basic text name. So I'm gonna add, this is another text uploader, or text edit widget. I'm gonna create the YouTube widget of this URL, and I can pull in the details of this particular screencast. Probably update that later. I'll just say screencast, and then also I'm going to pull in the description that I made and throw that in the notes. This does have a basic kind of like whatever WYSIWYG editor, which is cool. There's components and then there's hidden columns. In this case, I added, so if you add a component, you have a whole bunch of widgets that you can use. These are the values. Anything with like a bracket around it has kind of hidden values. And in this case, the values from the screen would be, if I'm looking at a post in the main screen and maybe adding like a RSVP to an event, then it would just pop up this slide-in thing, still have the main event as the context, but you also have access to the user profile. In this case, I picked the row ID from the user profile. I selected that, and then I said where to store that. Well, that's going to store it in the author ID column. So I can save that. I'm going to close out of the component window. And if we click on data, it'll jump back into the post, which is the context that we have. And you can see that the author ID, just filtering out all the different fields. The author ID, this is just a generic text widget column that is storing a particular ID. So I stored the currently logged in user ID to this thing. Now, I'm going to use that to create a relation column, and I called it author/ref, and the slash creates a folder just for managing this. And you can also kind of close, or just because once you have hundreds of columns. And I want it to match the value where the author ID matches the user's row ID. So we saved the currently logged in user as that, and it creates a reference that I can now look at and pull from, and we have the entire user profile from this particular person referenced in this column. Now that isn't really usable, so I have to, because it's just a generic relation, so I created a lookup column which basically looks into, you can search for anything else on any of the tables, or you can pick a reference or relation column that we've already created and then pull a particular value. So I wanted the name from this user, and that allows me to use this name as a regular text field. But if that changes, if you change the username, it's going to change everywhere else. So this is the post I just created from this YouTube clip. I also added this manually because you can't really pull it from. This is now going to, well, I create a little thing where it converts the description into audio, which is a gimmick, but whatever. So I'm creating now tags from this. What does that mean? Where I have, I'm going to look up the tags reference. So I say AI tag. So I created a column that is of type generate text of the AI category. And I told the AI list the keywords in lowercase and separated by commas. And I define the input as the main, and this is a template column from the last video where basically I just take the name and I add it to the body and also the image description, because sometimes the post is just an image and I want to describe the image like it's a chicken on the phone. But it lists the AI tags in lowercase separated by columns. Now that's still a text response, so I had created another column where it says split the text, pull it from the AI tags, and split them by the comma. This created a array column, or array data type. Then I created another reference where again it's the relation column, and I said take all of these and match it where the values in the tags column is of name. And so we have the reference to the individual tag, which is its own document on the tags table, and because I can do more things to it, like I can create individual references within the tags table to find all the posts that has that particular tag, or find all the users and products. So, and I'll go into it later how I added like this little discovery piece, but basically I said if the tag doesn't exist, like I created a array difference type where it took the tags that are found that already exist, or the list of these individual tags, and if they don't exist, create them. It's more advanced and not pertinent to now, but it is a way where I can add tags individually to each post. So inevitably, and that adds to the tags place where I'll jump into it. So we go back into the data table, we go back into the tags table, and for each tag it has a name, and it also has a whole bunch of relations where it says find where this particular name matches the value in all the rentals, and I did the same thing with the AI, and I found all the keywords or tags, same thing with the products, find all the products, and this is a roll-up, aka an aggregation column, where I am summarizing the value of all the related products, pulling from that relationship column, and calculating the count. You could also, count unique, calculating the count of all of the related products. Precision could go down, but we're just counting this number of them, and then create just a unit, which is what we're calling that. Now as I scroll to the right, I created a math column out here. It's a math column where I just said all the rentals products post users, take all of these individual counts and then add them up. So that's the related total. and I just called it documents as the unit. This is also an auto image, so there's an integration with something called Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S, and it just takes stock photo from text, which is just a starter point for, and works well with tags. So I say, take the name from this particular table and give me the result. We don't need the photographer or any of that, just find the image with that, which allows us to have demo images, and also track the author when, I guess, people will add tags as people utilize it, and you could incentivize them to, I don't know, click the tag button. Or if you're adding a unique document with a new concepts, then I think that's worth incentive of you get points for creating something that relates to a new concept, which is automatically generated. So in this container, we have, this is a container widget, which basically allows you to contain other components. I'm going to close out the navigation. And the container has particular options. You could have different column values, like a split 1, 4, 1, 3, whatever. We're going to go full this time. And then it could create a background where the background is just dark, and that takes like the theme color, or it could create the image color. And then you have, what's the background image? We're going to find the top one, auto image, whatever. You could create different, or upload a background image. And you can also darken, you could lighten it, which actually makes it darker, so that's weird. You could go no, it's a little bit bright, and then you could have a blur or not. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense, but it doesn't matter, it's just a background. And then over the options, you have visibility options, so you can create a condition, show the component when name is not empty. It's not really relevant here, but you could also go say user profile, like row ID, and that'd be a way if you're not logged in, and then you say if the row ID is not empty, show it. So you are logged in, or if it is empty, which case it doesn't show it because I'm viewing this as a user. If I click on anyone, it should show up. There's a weird bug where it's not actually working, but that's how it works on the production app. So I'm going to undo this, where I'm going to say the visibility should just show all the time because we clicked on the page. So, and then when you click on the tag, I also have a number of components where it just pulls from the references that I made in those columns, and they are themselves a card. You can create a list, a table, different, what are they called? A collection of other documents. And in this case, I'm just showing all the posts where the related posts, so the tag of trees included in the post, and this was generated from the AI, so it's just a fun little gallery where you can go conceptual that way. Here's also a button where I deleted it, so we created a button component. You could have different kind of themes, basic UI for just buttons. And in this case, what does the button do? Go down to the action. There's like different settings for what a button does. You can put it in the center or whatnot. The action for this button, here's the label, here's the icon, and the action, again, we have a whole bunch of possibilities here. You could play a sound, you could show a notification, you could send an email, you could call an API, which is useful when you like integrate it with Zapier or Make. You could also call up AI to do whatever you want. Or you could pull in an integration where you could upload a file or send a message to Discord. We used to have WhatsApp, but I think that's just is managed through like Make or Zapier now. Make or Zapier just kind of blows all of these options out of the water, so that's kind of where they're moving towards as far as all that. So in this case, we're going to edit the data and we're going to delete a row, and that's where the delete button goes. And I say allow this action when the main admin is checked, and the main admin is on the user profile, and that allows me just to show this. That should be hidden. If I go to someone else, yeah, the delete button goes away, but I'm the admin here, so there's that.